I noticed this with how people market themselves online.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically with some real estate agents. I noticed with some female real estate agents, they may not think it's a problem. So this kind of similar to what we were just talking about. So some of them, the way some of them dress.
Sex sells.
Yeah, but you got to be careful with it because you're cutting off a potential customer. Because what if you might have a single person that may want to buy a house? What if somebody's wife sees and she says, I want to hire a realtor, and then she goes and see her Instagram and it's her in her bikini and bathing suit, and she's thinking around my husband.
That ain't happening.
Exactly. So you're cutting yourself out.
Could you imagine like showing your wife like, oh, here's going to be our agent.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing but booty and stuff on her Instagram. They're going to be like, no, it's
no
not.
way. Exactly.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. So it's like I don't think some of them realize that the way you're branding yourself online, even though you say, but that's who I am. Yeah, we all have. Some of us like to drink beer and do crazy stuff and all that. But are we going to brand everything about our personality? You know, or you got to brand differently from your personal life and your business life.
Yeah.
And some stuff now, yeah, it's different from talking about being black owned. I'm not really saying that's different because there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But I'm just still using the example of that's how you brand yourself matters.
Yeah.
You like to wear revealing clothing. Okay, that's fine. But you can't be mad when you have a certain customer that doesn't want to hire you. They may not even tell you why they don't want to hire you. But it could be because I don't want somebody representing me that dress revealing or wears their sexuality on their sleeve with their clothes and stuff like that.
When you're in that line of business, you need to treat your social media like a resume, you know, because that's how people are validating and saying, okay, this is somebody who's qualified to do the job.
Right.
So just like your resume, you're not going to put on a resume, oh, I like to shake my butt, you know, and do this and you keep that.
Yeah, that should be a separate page. If you want to have your personal page and it be private, fine. But I've seen people like have their like professional headshot and they say I'm a realtor, but they're mixing the two. And we're going into a little bit of a different realm.
Yeah.
But it's still basically how you brand yourself. And social media, even if you have a business, I don't show everything about myself. Now people see my face on my personal social media, so that's fine. But what you post, people pay attention to.
Definitely.
If you post all your negative thoughts, you might have somebody might have a thought. Let's take for example. I've seen people online that I've done business with or done business with in the past, and they post all their personal thoughts. So it's like, hold up, you can't be upset when somebody doesn't want to hire you because online you look mentally unstable. So everything you do matters. How you brand yourself. If you tell everybody that you are crazy and deranged, that's how they're going to take you, and they probably not going to hire you.
Yeah.
So
and as time progresses too, I think your social presence online is getting more important for all careers.
Right.
You know, anytime you submit your resume, what's the first thing you think they do? You know, and they think you're going to be a qualified candidate. They're going to search your name. They're going to search your name and your email. And either your LinkedIn is going to come up, your Instagram or your Facebook. And they're going to look through these pictures and be like, oh, this is not the person.
Yeah. You have too many party pictures or something that's like you drunk or whatever. Like you got to take that stuff down.
Yeah.
If you know, like we've all, when we were younger, might have had some pictures up. Just having fun, not doing nothing crazy, but you just having fun. And then you get older and you say, hey, I got a particular brand.
Got to scrub it out.
Yeah, that stuff has to go. Yeah. You know, on me, like I don't share a lot of like my family pictures online because I'm like, that's for me. You know, I feel like once you kind of overshare certain stuff, you kind of cheapen it.
Yeah. Or have a separate page for it. You know, a private page, but that shouldn't be out and about for everybody.
But that's fine if you want to do that. But I'm just saying, like some of the not so positive stuff about yourself. That one is a hard no for me. The one about, hey, you want to say you black on, I don't got no problem with that. It's just everybody's business is different. But the one about like how do you represent yourself online, whether it's how your clothing and some people get into a lot of political stuff online. That's fine. That's fine. That's your opinion.
Yeah.
But you can't be mad when you possibly close the door on certain opportunities because of your political or beliefs.
And one thing we have to remember too is that once you put on the internet, it's always there.
Yeah. So there's a guy in the wedding group that couldn't realize he is a white guy.
Mm.
He got into a lot of political commentary over the last couple of years,
Yeah.
and he started noticing it was hurting his business.
Yeah.
And he started saying, "Man, I'm sorry." And he even in the group sometimes he would get into arguments with people about political stuff. And he wanted to apologize, and people were like kind of throwing his face, like, "Yeah, because no, you kind of got what you did because you kind of like." It wasn't like you had a difference of opinion,
Right.
but it was like, "You're wrong," blah blah blah, and now you want us to like cry a river for you.
Yeah.
You alienated people.
Yeah, you alienated people, cry a river for you because it's hurting your business now. You know, just so you can get your point across.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying you got to think of all of that when you decide to set out and start a business. How do I want to represent this? Do I want to use my identity to represent my business? Nothing fine, but you gotta nail that down from the get-go, because people are gonna judge you based on everything. It's not about just the quality of your service, your customer service. They're judging you based on your representation online, your logo, your services. If they see you post your food pics every day, I don't know. I'm just saying, they're going to come up with some type of representation. So you got to think about what's the best way to represent my business in a way that comes off approachable and whatnot. Now, in person, different story. Yeah, you're going to see my full identity, see my personality. But then online though, my job is to show you what you need, get in the door, close the deal, and wow you. That's it.
You don't want your comments to come back on you 10 years down the road, you know, like what's taking place with this whole Freaknik thing, you know, like coming down. Was it 20 years later, 15 years later?
It all follows you.
It all follows.
It all follows
and
you.
Everybody's panicking like, whoa, hold on now.
You can't
hold
be mad
up.
at nobody. Whether it online, a digital footprint, what you say. I mean, look at some athletes. People trying to cancel certain people because they said something about a person years ago, and now they're in the league, and they say, "Remember when you said this?"
Yeah.
You gotta be careful. You gotta be responsible with it.
And even like you were saying, even in person, you don't give everybody everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like nobody goes to work in their true self, at least in the work.
It's like,
how
was your week, Jay?
Yeah. Oh, great. Hey, awesome, man.
There you
Absolutely.
go.
Yeah, but if somebody has a addiction, an alcohol problem, they're not sharing that with
Yeah, they're
everybody.
not sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. My mom taught me how to code switch. You know what I'm saying? She told me what that was when I was younger. It's like when you go in there, you have to act a certain way when you present yourself a certain way. And when you're not, you got to do it a different way. So that doesn't change just because you're on the internet, and that doesn't change just because people can't physically see you. And even when they physically see you, you're still not giving them everything. You just more of yourself, because you're in person. So
Even sometimes on some gigs, people will say, "Hey, want to have a drink?" Most of the time, only time I probably ever had a drink, it was a party. It was a outdoor function, and the event was pretty much ending. And he was like, "I really insist. I really want you." So I had, rum and coke. But most of the time, if a customer offered me a drink on most of the time I say no, because I appreciate the offer, but also too, people they do these happy hours and they say, "Well, my boss is throwing us happy hours, so we should have whatever we want." But then you have a little too much, and then you start to get a little tipsy. They pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah. And I was saying with your job, like somebody might see you drink one drink, and then it's like he was drinking.
Yeah.
And and they don't know that somebody made you drink it or anything.
Right.
They just saw you drinking, and so now their word of mouth for the videographer at that wedding was he was drinking on the job.
Exactly.
And it was like
That's
I
all.
had one drink just because, just
And
because
again,
the bride and groom wanted me to toast with them.
And a lot of the
Say somebody
DJs
took a
drink
picture.
all the time.
Say somebody took a picture of you, they caught you at the exact wrong moment when you taking a sip or something, and they're like, well, "Why is he taking a? Why is a photographer?"
It was none of their
drinking?"
business in the first place, not
Yeah.
children. But still, you gotta. And that's the
be
thing.
mindful.
It's not about that's my business and all that. It should be, but you gotta safeguard yourself on these jobs. Yes, you shouldn't have a problem if somebody offer you a drink. If the client said that's fine, but you gotta safeguard yourself and say, "Hey, what's the perception of everybody else here? People are watching and possibly trying to see you slip up. Possibly you have no room to slip up, regardless of it shouldn't be that way. It is that way.
Yeah.
So you got to navigate it properly so you can get the job done and safeguard yourself from any backlash.
And even with this podcast now, you're doing a lot of talking, you're putting yourself out there, we're speaking on a lot of opinions.
Yeah.
And even this, we got to make sure that we're not doing but so much because we want to market ourselves and we want to, of us want to, advance in certain fields and things like that. And we don't want something like this to come back as. That's
Right.
why we don't,
Freely.
Yeah, because
and
there's
that's why we don't speak about certain topics on here because that's not what this is about.
right. It's not trying to stir people up and
Mhm.
stuff. It's trying to, get people thinking,
Mhm.
but at the same time educate, because there's already enough people online on
Stir the
YouTube
pot.
that basically started out one way, producing content, fruitful content, but they got caught up in the YouTube beefs.
Mhm.
And what happens is now people just tune in to see the beefs.
Mhm.
And now what happens is
You have to
you've
keep
totally
feeding.
ran your platform car off the road.
Mhm.
And there's really no way to get it back on, because that's what people remember you by now,
Mhm.
because you stirred up controversy. And they were just like same with rappers. It's like they just know certain rappers for beefing.
Mhm.
So you don't have a solid foundation where it's like, no, we produce quality content. We don't get caught up in nonsense beef and stuff like that. Even if it gets clicks and views,
Right.
it's going to destroy you down the line,
Yep.
because people remember that, and they'll pull that stuff later. Say, remember when he said this?
Mhm.
Remember he say that? There's a lot of YouTubers now that me and you know
Yeah.
that has that happening to him now, because he basically poked the bear, poked many bears early on, and then now he's mad because people are coming at his wife and his child when you shouldn't have put them on in the first place if you was going to be targeting people.
Yeah.
You know.